The Age of Chaucer, the Dawn of English Literature. Introduction. Are you someone who feels confused about the history of English literature? Or perhaps you're preparing for lecturership, UGC NET, CSS or SST exams, trying to understand the roots of English. Or maybe you're an English learner who wants to improve your fluency and vocabulary through the real stories of history and literature. If yes, then this video is just for you, because here you're not only going to learn English history and literature, but you'll also take your English fluency and vocabulary to the next level. In other words, you're about to kill two birds with one stone, learning literature while mastering the language itself. Welcome to Language and Literature Explained, the place where literature speaks and history becomes your teacher. This is not just another lecture, it's a journey through time, through the dreams, struggles, and voices that shaped the English we speak today. So, keep your pen and notebook ready, because this lesson is filled with essential facts, themes, and meanings that will not only prepare you for exams, but also make you fall in love with the English language. The story of this period begins around 1350 and ends around 1400, when English rose again after centuries of silence. A time when poetry found its purpose, prose found its power, and drama took its first breath. It was the age when English, once buried under French and Latin, found its own voice, proud, rich, and everlasting. So stay with me till the end, because by the time we finish this journey, you'll not only understand the Age of Chaucer, you'll feel it echoing in every English word you speak. Historical background. The story of this age actually begins in 1066, when William the Conqueror of Normandy, France, defeated King Harold, the last Saxon king of England, in the Battle of Hastings. This event changed everything. French became the language of the court and nobility. Latin ruled the church, and the native English language was pushed aside. For nearly 2 centuries, English lay in darkness, spoken only by peasants, forgotten by scholars. But by the 14th century, things began to change. The 100 Years' War, 1337 to 1453, between England and France, awakened a sense of national pride. The Black Death, 1348 to 1450, struck the land, killing millions, yet giving power to the common people as the feudal system crumbled. Then came the Peasants' Revolt of 1381, led by Wat Tyler, demanding justice and equality. Out of these great social storms, a new voice was born, the voice of the English people. And that voice found its poet in Geoffrey Chaucer. Thus began the Age of Chaucer, the true dawn of English literature. The spirit of the age. This age was a bridge between two worlds, between the faith of the Middle Ages and the reason of the coming Renaissance. Religion still ruled hearts, but human curiosity began to stir. People started questioning corruption, seeking truth, and valuing human experience. Literature became the mirror of real life, no longer just about saints and knights, but about men and women as they truly were, joyful, sinful, hopeful, and human. This was the Age of Awakening, the moment English began to breathe again. Why it is called the Age of Chaucer? This age is called the Age of Chaucer because Geoffrey Chaucer was its greatest literary figure, and the first to give English literature a true artistic form. Just as Shakespeare defines the Elizabethan age, Chaucer defines the 14th century. Before him, English poetry was rough and unpolished. Chaucer refined it, giving it rhythm, emotion, and life. he proved that English could express beauty, humor, and wisdom just as powerfully as Latin or French. Because of this, he is rightly called the father of English poetry. And this age, shining under his influence, proudly bears his name, the Age of Chaucer. Major writers of the age. Geoffrey Chaucer, the father of English poetry. Born around 1343, Chaucer lived a life full of travel, learning, and observation. He served as a page, soldier, diplomat, and civil servant, meeting every class of society, from kings to commoners. His masterpiece, The Canterbury Tales, is a collection of stories told by pilgrims on their way to Canterbury Cathedral. Each character, the knight, the miller, the wife of Bath, the pardoner, the monk, represents a different face of English society. Through humor and wisdom, Chaucer gave us not just stories, but a living picture of 14th century England. His other works include The Book of the Duchess, an elegy for Blanche, Duchess of Lancaster; The Parliament of Fowls, a dream vision about love and harmony; The House of Fame, exploring fame and truth; and Troilus and Cressade, a tragic tale of love and destiny. Through these works, Chaucer gave English literature its heart, blending truth with beauty and humor with humanity. William Langland, the moral visionary. Born around 1330, William Langland wrote the powerful allegory Piers Plowman. It is a moral and spiritual journey that explores man's search for truth in a corrupt world. In this poem, the character Piers symbolizes the honest Christian worker, patient, faithful, and pure. Langland attacked greed and corruption in the church and reminded people that salvation lies not in rituals, but in good deeds. His work gave English literature its moral depth and conscience. John Gower, the wise and moral poet. John Gower, 1330 to 1608, wrote in French, Latin, and English, showing the trilingual nature of the age. His most famous English work, Confessio Amantis, The Lover's Confession, mixes love stories with moral lessons. Gower believed that poetry should guide society toward virtue, a belief that shaped much of medieval thought. Prose writers of the age. Though poetry was dominant, prose began to take shape. John Wycliffe, 1320 to 1384, translated the Bible into English, making it accessible to the common man. His translation gave birth to English prose and sparked the early spirit of reform. Another figure, John of Trevisa, translated Latin works into English, helping to spread learning and knowledge throughout the land. Thus, English prose was born, clear, sincere, and full of faith. Themes and features of the Age of Chaucer. 1. Revival of English language. After 2 centuries of silence, English became the language of the people once again. Writers proved it could carry grace, humor, and strength. 2. Realism and human nature. For the first time, literature showed people as they truly were, with flaws, laughter, and love. Chaucer's pilgrims are real, alive, and unforgettable. 3. Religion and morality. Faith remained strong, but writers attacked corruption and called for true Christianity. Langland and Gower spoke for purity and justice. 4. Allegory and symbolism. Moral ideas were expressed through symbols. Piers Plowman used personifications like truth, envy, and conscience to teach virtue. 5. Love and romance. Courtly love, noble and idealistic, was a major theme. Troilus and Cressade shows love as both beautiful and tragic. 6. Social satire. Writers humorously exposed hypocrisy in the church and society. Chaucer's gentle irony revealed truth through laughter. 7. Drama, mystery, miracle, and morality plays. Mystery plays dramatized Bible stories like the creation and the resurrection. Miracle plays told the lives of saints and their miraculous deeds. Morality plays used symbolic figures like everyman or good deeds to teach moral lessons about sin and salvation. These plays were performed in towns and markets, educating people through entertainment. 8. National spirit. The 100 Years' War strengthened English identity. Writers took pride in their nation and its growing language. Conclusion. And so, the Age of Chaucer, 1350 to 1400, stands as the true rebirth of English literature. It was the age when a forgotten language rose again to become a language of art and truth. Through Chaucer's creativity, Langland's morality, Gower's wisdom, and Wycliffe's prose, English became the voice of a nation, strong, soulful, and enduring. This was not just the dawn of literature, it was the awakening of a civilization, and that's why we still remember it today as the Age of Chaucer, the age that gave English its heart and humanity. Thank you for watching Language and Literature Explained. If you found this video inspiring, educational, and powerful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because here, you don't just learn literature, you live it.